Right, let's get straight into today's stories. But first, I just want to read... You're lot getting frisky already, aren't you? gbnews.com/your say. Just want to read this out, because you came to me quite early on. You said you might see me grab something off the desk. And Starbreaker, good afternoon, Starbreaker, said, what's in that bottle we didn't see, Dawn? Well, you did see it. And given that West Ham are playing Man City later on today, could be anything, could be gin, couldn't it? It wasn't, it was a soft drink, sadly. Any case, now you know. So let's get straight into today's story. Now to our top story. So look back in anger, although many of you have probably punched your laptops already this morning. Ticketmaster has crashed as Oasis fans attempt to get hold of tickets for their reunion tour. According to Betfair, fans are predicted to have a just 7% chance of success today. Oh, good luck if you're trying to do this. With many set to experience major upset. And I've been reading some of the stuff online here. Oh my God. Some of you have spent hours on there, get to the ticket room, just about to hit purchase, and you get error 503. Mysterious, whatever that means, I don't know, but it means you don't get your tickets after hours and hours. Sympathies with you all. But Oasis have issued a warning against people reselling those tickets, if you've got them, at higher prices, because some of them on the resale ticket sites have been going for up to £10,000 for a standing seat. A, how did they get those tickets? B, how are they reselling them? Surely that's got to be some kind of illegal thing going on there. Any case, joining me now to explain all of this madness is music publicist Michael Infant. Michael, thank you very much for joining. Now, lots and lots of very, very angry, frustrated people have been hitting refresh and staring at their laptops since 8 o'clock this morning. Firstly, this is an amazing feat of publicity, isn't it? The way this has been handled, the relaunch of Oasis.
Yeah, good morning, Dawn. I just on your note there, I think I'll start a band called Error 503, because I think actually that'll appear on a lot of searches moving forward. I looked this morning on sites like Gigaberg, I think it was, and I saw on there amazingly tickets selling for £3,000 to £5,000, and a top end, if you go to the bottom of their website offering, it was £104,000. Now, I don't know what you get for £104,000, but of course, you know, clearly Oasis not seeing a piece of that. The most important thing I think that we're seeing here is the spectacular rise of the way music concerts have grown in the last years. Now, I did a bit of research and I've checked it back to 1989, when Steel Wheel, the Rolling Stones, promoted by Michael Cole, realised, he was a sports promoter, and he realised that people would go to concerts, and he saw Band Aid and the success of Band Aid, where it was 25 quid a ticket back then for Band Aid, which was affordable. I mean, a lot of money in the 80s, but still affordable. When you're talking of thousands of pounds, you know, it's not affordable. And of course, back then, bands like Steely Dan, you went along as a fan to watch them play the Middle Eight, to watch them play and perform. And this was very fan orientated. Now it's a spectacular. The pyros, the spectacular, the guests, whoever else is going to be there. That's what starts driving these into mega shows. We've only got to see what Taylor Swift has done in the last 3 months of her touring, and prices and the celebration, the merchandise. So we can fully expect these spectacular shows not to be, you know, a show like behind the Greenford Tavern back as it was in the 60s and 70s. But the alien sites, the bad sites, I don't know if there's criminality involved here, but certainly civil answer is the way. The band are doing the right thing. They do this thing at Comic-Con as well. If you try and buy tickets from second-hand handlers, you may be refused entry. So a good warning to fans to try. But it's got enormously frustrating. And Oasis are about to enter. Is it a farewell tour? Or is it, you know, is it Frank Sinatra? Is it going to be more comebacks than Frank Sinatra? I don't know. The one thing I can say, and it's really important, nostalgic music is a legacy. It is an amazing piece of British history, and it is also monetized at the highest level. We ourselves acquire music copyright. We've spent millions buying music copyrights over the years, and I've discussed that on your show in the past. So we're going to see more of this. I'd like to see the Jam reform. You know, I'd like to see a lot of the bands.
Lots of people have been saying that.
let's get Paul Weller and Paul McCartney together because he talked Oasis into it. Now, Mr. Weller changed his name to Paul because he was a fan of Paul McCartney. And I know that Mr. Foxton and Mr. Buckler would be more than happy to get together and put these together. So I think we'll see more, but we've got to police the ticket price. It's got to be fan-centric. We've got to make sure the fans can afford it. And can you criminalise it? No. Go back to the old days when tickets out still do appear outside stadiums for football games, etc. It's a problem for many, many years. But I think with the internet now, you can move in on these illegal sites. And perhaps the biggest way of doing it is the credit card companies being asked not to recognise these sites. And perhaps that's a civil action to say, if you're in a second-hand retailing site, Visa will only allow you to spend 500 quid or 300, put a maximum on the sites. But that's just an idea from me.
Oh, that's an interesting thought. Just very, very quickly, Michael, because we're running out of time, before you go. This concert feels like it's been, the boys are back talking to each other, let's do a concert. This has been planned for months and months, hasn't it?
Listen, I think anything like Hollywood is planned well in advance. Perhaps whoever organised it can even get William and Harry back together, and perhaps they could start. They could do a reunion tour. Perhaps we saw the start of it. But I'd like to say that I think that seeing more legacy bands put back together is a must. And fans, real fans, need to campaign for that whilst the bands are still alive. Paul McCartney famously said he would have got back together with the Beatles. Sadly, that's not going to happen. But hey, the Rolling Stones are still going out with just a few of them. Don't give up hope.
Brilliant.
It still rings and call.
Thank you very much. That's Michael Infant, music publicist there. Thank you very much for joining us and trying to make sense of, the mad, basically, that is being Oasis this morning. Now, let's see what my panel make of that. I have got JJ Anisiobi. Ta-da! And the lovely Mike Parry. Ta-da! Thank you very much for joining me. Mike, I'm going to come to you first because I know you're a big Beatles fan.
Oh, huge.
And Oasis have been accused constantly of just being a cut price, a pound shop, if you like, Beatles.
No,
Are you excited about them?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, look, I'm sorry, but I'm going back to the old days now. But when the Beatles broke up, as far as I'm concerned, music ended. There was nothing going on until Oasis came along.
Oh,
and I don't think they're a pound shop Beatles. I think they've been influenced by the Beatles, as almost everybody since the Beatles has. But they exhibited extreme talent, extreme musical talent, OK, to be able to write their own songs, write their own records, which were just as exciting as some Beatles tracks, but completely unique and different. I'm so glad they're getting back together again. And by the way, in my view, they've done it just in time because neither of them has turned 60 yet. I think they're sort of 58 and 56 or 50 Whereas Michael, the publicist there, mentioned the Rolling Stones. To me, the Rolling Stones are just a sheer embarrassment when they do a live concert now. I'm sorry, it's like watching some doddery old pensioner gasping for breath, just about staggering around. And I don't want to see that, but I do want to see Oasis at their very, very best. I had a huge spat with Liam Gallagher a few years ago.
That doesn't surprise me.
Yeah, I just happened to be in a pub one day and I was just flicking through what was Twitter in those days, and he was again moaning, kid won't talk to me, we can't get a reunion on. And I just put out a tweet, bearing in mind he gets millions, saying, Liam, that's because your brother Noel is a Lennon-McCartney-style record writer and singer, whereas you are a pub singer. And
he
came back with a volley of just really abusive. I think I must be the most hated person in his life because he said, I wrote Don't Look Back in Anger, didn't you know that? And all this kind of stuff. So, look, I'm looking forward to it tremendously. I haven't applied for tickets because that sort of thing is such an energy rush now. I think it's beyond me.
I was going to say, I thought, given your relationship with them, there'd be, Mike, do you want to come to the gig?
Yes.
Come backstage with us. Yes. How about you, JJ?
I was up this morning queuing.
Oh, were you? So you've been involved in it, right? Tell us.
All three screens eventually had the error code. Even on my phone,
this
two
503
laptops.
thing,
503
which
thing.
is whatever it means. It's like the iCloud.
Until I got tickets, then when I went to pay, then the error comes up. But my friend, Nicole Douglas, who lives in Australia, we were on the phone at the same time. She managed to get 4 tickets for Manchester, so I am going to go.
Brilliant. So your friend in Australia
managed to get tickets.
Got 4 tickets for Manchester.
For Manchester.
You in London, I'm assuming.
Yeah, got 0. Got nothing.
How long did it take you, JJ, to get 0?
2.5 hours, nearly 2:45 minutes, yeah. I was almost late here because I was still online hoping I was going to get through again, but it didn't happen.
Well, this is the thing, isn't it? I mean, I have tried for tickets, but the Olympics, I remember doing that. And it's like, you're on there and it's like, you're sort of like, 450,000 in the queue. And it's like, really? But you get so far in, you think, well, I can't walk away now.
Yeah, exactly.
The thing is, being in our business, and Dawn and I were in the newspaper business for a very long time, I'm arrogant enough to hope that somebody will invite me into their box at one of the concerts. I just am. I just have that sheer arrogance of, somebody will want me there. I mean, I've forgotten that I'm yesterday's man, and I still have this thought that I will. But the idea of actually, staying up for 6 hours at night trying to get a ticket, those days are way behind me.
Right, yeah.